Good afternoon, fellow traders. Black Coffee Trader coming to you on a Thursday. I think today's Thursday. Yep, Thursday, August the 15th. And hey, we had an excellent day. I had an excellent day, and I hope you did too, actually. I hope you had a very good day as well. The best trading day I've had since trading micros. Today is day 17 of my micros trading journey. And I want to talk about the adjustment that I made. Today was actually a very easy day, to be honest with you. Very easy day after I made this adjustment, and it seems so simple. Yeah, it is what it is. But today, really, I should be up like $800 today. I had a losing trade this morning on account 58, and that's what prompted me to make this change. And that trade, I went from being positive 400 and not closing the trade. You heard me right, 400 in profit, to letting that account go to a loss. So even if I would have closed at 300, we would be up right around 800 today. So definitely should have been an excellent day. And in fact, it was a very good day. Only a couple of trades. Both of these trades, I believe, were either 1 or 2 trades for these two accounts, and up 207 and 275. And I want to talk about it. So basically, what I'm looking at is, obviously, if you follow this channel, you know that I like to trade these levels. I mark these levels out based on support, resistance, previous highs and lows of market, daily highs, daily lows, areas of support and resistance over time. And it's ever changing, but I use those levels, and I like to take trades based off of those levels. And it works quite well. What I did this morning is I entered a short trade right here. This is on this account. This was the loss. I entered a short trade, and let me back up for just a minute. So this is the ATM that I set up. If I can, well, you can just have to see it the way it is. So I have a $250 stop loss, 5 micros. So I'm going 100 ticks on the stop loss. My theory behind that is we're trading with basically a $2,500 account. I have $2,500 in drawdown on a 50K account. Now, granted, on 150K, there's more. We have what, $5,000 of drawdown. So 10% of the 2,500 on a 50K is 250. Now, I'm not necessarily looking to keep that drawdown at that stop loss at that level. And then I also have 5 individual targets. If you see here, there are 5 individual targets. What that allows me to do is, if I enter this trade, I can set these at certain intervals and scale my way out of a position. That is incredibly powerful. And what I did this morning is I entered this specific trade right here. I entered a short as I started to see some rejections coming in off this 400 level, and I wanted to take this short. And my target, let me see if I can get this over here where we can see it. If I enter this trade just like I did,
order submitted.
My target was just below the wicks on this candle. And I had 5 micros, and I had 1 target at 200 ticks, which is all the way down here about at the 340, so about right here. That is a $500 winner. That's a $500 profit if I hit that full target. Now, generally, I'm not going to hit that quite often, really. Most of the time, I'm not. However, so I had 1 target with 5 micros sitting down here at about at the 500 area. And this trade, if you look at it, this candle wicks down, wicks down, wicks down, wicks down to here, goes all the way back up here, wicks back down here. I still hold, and then we go back and forth, and I finally allow this thing to stop me out. And I didn't take a full stop out, so I moved my stop in to, at that point, I was like, I want to have my stop just above here, and that keeps the trade, I just keep my risk tolerance pretty tight. So that way I'm risking 170 on that specific trade. Does that make sense? So the error of this morning was having all 5 of these targets at one location, and I couldn't break them up. Had I had these broken up, I could have said, here, let's take one off here. On the next trade, next move down, let's take one off there. And I eventually could have worked my way out of that position, taking some profits. And what I realized, this was a total epiphany moment for me. What I realized is this is my mistake. This is how I've been trading so often with multiple contracts, or having a big profit target, and then I don't know where I'm going with it, or when do I close the trade? When do I get out of it? So I then switched this thing to what you see now, where we have 5 different profit targets, and they're all nearly in that 200 tick range, but I don't leave them there. I can move one in and I can take profit at 15 points. I can take profit at 10 points, and I can take some at 40 points if I want, and I can work my way out of that trade and get into profits nearly on every trade. Not all the time, but nearly on every trade. And it also allows me to fluctuate the stop loss. I'm never going to increase the stop loss. I'm going to bring it in tighter, and that is based on what my trading, what my level is, where I'm trading. In other words, if I'm looking for this to reject short, I don't want to enter here, because then my stop loss has to be all the way up here. That's not a good entry for me. So I'm going to have my entry somewhere in this area so that my stop loss can be sitting here around 192, and it's under that 250. That right there was the big change and the big reason why today was a success. If you look at the rest of the day and the trades I took, I only took a few, but on this specific account, I did take a winning position here. And then I had a losing trade right here where I had a full stop out. Now, granted, I had my stop was really tight. This was a risky trade because I was trading off the initial balance high. Definitely a risky trade, but I did take it, and I got stopped out for $92. But I wasn't allowing that trade to fully stop me out. Now, you could argue and say, well, had I just left this on, you know, I would have probably just barely gotten stopped out, or maybe been okay here and eventually would have got out of that trade. Yeah, that's true, but I would rather cut my loss and look for another entry. And I then also had a little bit of a winner here, but at that point I was down 160, and I really honestly just did not feel and see any other trades to take today with the funded accounts. Up here, we just went completely sideways and traded in basically a 30-40 point range for most of the afternoon, and I just was not interested in trading that whatsoever. So very happy with the execution there. Let's take a look at the other 2 accounts. The 55 account, the other 50K, I took one trade. This was just an excellent textbook entry off this retest. So we retested the 400s, going along, very tight stop. And this was one, and this is what I need to work on. I need to work on my patience, because as you can see, I took my 5 profit targets all in here. Granted, it was 200, but it could have been 500. See how this move just trickled all the way up. I mean, this could have been really it could have been a $2,000 or a $1,000 trade. But this, I need to be more careful and more patient with this, and allow the trade to work as long as it doesn't invalidate my entry point, and allow these trades to work. And I think it's going to make a big difference. The trade I took on 57, I think this is my 150K. I think this is also, yep, this is the only trade I took here. And this was kind of a follow-up. So if you look at the previous trade, right here, I went in long off the 400s. I took all my profits and then switched to the 57 account. And if you look, I jump right back in on this pullback and again, ride this thing up. And I had a bigger win there, 275 on 5 contracts. So again, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it makes so much sense to use this and be able to take profit at various levels throughout that trade. And it allows me to take the setup based on these levels, or whatever I choose to take, whether I choose to take a retest like here. This was a retest of this high. That would have been an okay long to take. I took the long up here, and I should have actually waited here. This was on account 58. If you look at that, I took the long right here, and a better entry would have been down here, and I actually went short. I did catch a winner there, but I was not paying attention to this point right here. That was a retest of this position, or this high point, and then we had another long opportunity. So just reading the market, that was today. I did spend the rest of the day off and on through this area, testing, scaling in and scaling out Not good setups at all, but I tested it with my evals, copy trading my evals, and I did not do very well at all, but I was up on every one of those, so I'm okay. I decided, you know what, if I have a losing day on the evals, that's fine. That's a great way to play that. I was actually copy trading all 4 of these, so my take profit and the 250, the 150, and the 50. In any case, $400, $500 losing day, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. I was using that specifically to test how I execute some of these, and I feel very confident going into tomorrow that we'll be able to use that strategy. As you can see, I was kind of playing here at the end of the day, using some of these, and like here I had an entry where I had a couple of winners and I kept holding. I should have just gotten out, and typically on a funded account I would have, but I was just playing with how do I navigate, how do I play this trade, and this was ugly price action for me. I mean, we basically were trading in this, you know, from about the 600s to the 570s, so about a 30-point range, and it was just, you know, kind of a bear flag, but it never really bearish moved until right here. I caught a really nice trade right there. 60, there's a 60, a 30, a 50, and a 60, so really nice winner there. And then I had a couple losing, but again, I was really kind of using this as practice for how do I execute with this ATM setup. And honestly, I'm just very, very happy with how today went. So let's take a look at TradeZella. Not that we've really changed the game, but we did improve. $300 this is today. Let's go to today. My win rate was 75%, very, very good. Again, took a couple of trades and took really good setups, something that I've struggled with the last several days. I've been taking sloppy setups. And so this ATM really is going to help me take better setups. So very nice trading day today. And if you look at the month, this month, we're still down 1,400, but obviously we've rebounded. Definitely have more green on the charts as far as daily green than red, and had the best green day with trading micros, up 323. That's the best day this month. The first day of the month I was up 222. And again, like I said, it should be an 800. It should have taken out yesterday's red day had I executed that first trade the right way. But yeah, I'm happy with that. And then on the journey, the micros trading journey, let's take a look at it. That would be from July 23rd through today. And on that regard, we are down $1,000. You can kind of see the trend here. I was up and I dropped into the red, and now working our way back up here. But as you can see here on the days traded, today was definitely the best day so far, slightly beating this previous day, end of July at 284. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with the progress. 57%, we're holding close to that 60% win rate, and I do believe that if I'm executing some of these trades and allowing some of these positions to reach a bigger profit target through you know, whether I trade 3 contracts or 5 contracts, but the same type of system, I'll improve my average win loss. And even if it's around the same, as long as the win rate stays positive, we're going to have green days. So anyway, yeah, that's a wrap for today. Like I said, I feel pretty happy about it. I'm really excited to use this going forward. Where do we go from here looking at the market? Obviously, we are solidly well above the 400s. We're about halfway through. I felt like the 500 seemed to be a bit of a struggle today. This was kind of the range from 5 to 6. We kind of just were holding in that level today, and that really coincides with back here. I noticed this today. Right here we had a bit of a shelf at the 500s, and this was back in the middle of June, and I think this might have been PPI or CPI news, and we had this little shelf in that range, and that came into play here again today, or at least it certainly seemed like. We also had that issue right here. This was a low that we had back on August 1st that was right in that 500 range, and so we're kind of right in that area. So again, we're kind of pushing up towards this major level, in my opinion, of 17,650 or 750 or somewhere in that area. Let's change this to a 60-minute. It'll be a little bit more clear. You kind of see this level, this major area right here of hold, right through here. This is that 19,750, if I can speak correctly, 19,750, and I think that is a very major level that we have to watch, and we're kind of bumping up against there. And then we have, if we break and hold that, obviously the next one's going to be up here at these other previous highs a little bit over the 20,000 marker. So I think that's going to be in play tomorrow, especially if this market continues overnight. If not, we go back down, we look at these 400s and maybe go back down to this 19,000, and just again, just looking for areas of opportunity, whether we go up or whether we go down, trading the levels and really focusing on retests, breaks and retests of those levels. So that's where we're at for today. Hopefully we can continue. I hope you guys had a great trading day. By the way, the Apex sale, the 80% is over. They're back to the 71% off evals. And they did extend the 150, 250, and 300K lifetime PA fee, the $85 lifetime PA fee, I believe is good until September the 15th. And I think the 71% off runs until the end of the month, I believe. And then obviously take profit, still have that 50% off and 100% refund on the first payout. So my code BCT gets you a 50K account for 85 bucks. Take a payout, you'll get that 85 bucks back. Great deal. So once again, just thank you. I appreciate you guys that use my code. Code BCT gets you the best deal at all times with Apex or Take Profit Trader. So again, welcome. If you're new, feel free to like and subscribe. I try to do these updates every single day and taking you along on my trading journey. So have a great night. Have a great Friday tomorrow, and we'll try to have another update for you tomorrow afternoon. So long.